Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Create or Consume. My name is Charlie. Welcome aboard. Today I'm going to talk about how 4 years ago I moved to Colombia with nothing but a backpack, a suitcase, 200 bucks, and I knew how to say, "Where's the bathroom?" and get me a beer. 4 years later, here we are, and today I'm going to talk about the ups and downs of what's happened on here. So, first things first, back in 2021, I met my wife online because I was doing a lot of woodworking and metalsmithing in my grandpa's old shop on my family's farm. And she said, "Hey, I love one of your tables and stuff like that. Those are awesome." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I can do that. I can help you out and all that good stuff." One thing led to the next. We started talking, and yeah, we started dating. I ended up booking a flight down to Colombia to come down, meet her family, all that good stuff, and to meet her for the first time actually because we had talked online for like 6 months. And so it was November of 2021. I came down for a month just to go ahead and kind of check things out, get lay of the land, all that good stuff. And I ended up falling in love. So, long story short, I went back to Michigan for about a week after the trip, and I said to my mom and dad, I was like, "Look, I'm moving back to Colombia, and we're gonna get hitched." Maybe a little bit fast for some of you out there, but like when you know, you know. That's what I'm gonna say about this all. And so, I packed 2 suitcases this time, same old camera bag and everything, had my computer, and I moved down to Colombia. I moved in with her family, and I had no idea about Colombian culture. I had no idea about any of the language stuff. I didn't understand any of the family and stuff like that when they spoke to me. And so I had a huge learning curve ahead. A lot of it, really, to be honest, I was stressed, I was anxious. I had a lot of difficult moments, as we might say, because like I was very frustrated that I didn't know what was going on. There'd be times that like everybody would have a conversation around me and I just had no idea what's going on. But little by little, I picked up Spanish, and now I'm pretty fluent actually, 4 years later. Thank God for that, I'll tell you. And so that was challenge number one. The other thing is I came back with like 200 bucks in my pocket because my wife's like, "Hey, we can live off this for like 200 bucks a month or whatever." I was sadly rudely mistaken because I had no idea what was ahead, because we'd end up having to figure out how to live on our own for one. We'd also have to figure out how to go ahead and actually get us into both countries because we had to do a visa for both of us and stuff like that to stay. And we had other challenges of everyday living and stuff like that. And realistically, it's more like, I'm gonna say probably you can live pretty decent for about 1,500 bucks a month down here and stuff, USD. And so that's a big challenge right there too. If you're coming down, you're getting married, all that good stuff, or you want to go ahead and come down and just live down here as well. Now, before I came down here too, I was working a tech support job online, and one of the guys in the team said, "Hey, you're gonna come down and be the next Pablo Escobar." I was like, "Dude, don't even go there." That's a common misconception about Colombia. There's nothing about that. The people are great, really, to be honest. Like, everybody's pleased and thank you and really respectful and stuff like that. I've not had a bad encounter short of a overzealous Uber driver that decided to drive so fast. We thought we were just like in a roller coaster or something like that, to be honest. And so you come down here, just learn some language, learn some Spanish, like learn about the culture and stuff like that. You'll learn about arepas, you'll learn about like chicharron, you'll learn about different things about what happens at Christmas time, like you'll learn about different cultural things and whatnot. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience. And then like when we moved out on this, like after we lived with her mom and her brother and all, my nephew and her brother's girlfriend and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm lacking coffee this morning, here, guys. But anyways, after we lived with them for a while, I gradually picked up Spanish. I think it was maybe about 6 months before I had a very, very broken conversation with her mom. And I thought I was on the top of the world. I was like Spanish king because I could talk in Spanish to her mother. And I was just like, "Oh yeah, it's game on, you know?" But I didn't know anything yet, and there's still a lot to learn. There's still a lot to learn, and one big point I want to make is if you move to a different country, always be open to learning and growing constantly. Even if you lived in the same country for the longest part of your life, do the same thing, because that's a big part about it is you'll have to be willing to do this stuff, because like limitations are going to hold you back, and that's what I've discovered for myself along this path. So after we got done with all that, we ended up moving out for a bit because everybody had some construction around the house. We lived in an Airbnb for like 6 months. That was super expensive. Wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Get yourself a stable apartment down here if you come down. And so we lived at Airbnb for about 6 months. We ended up moving back, turning one floor of the house into an apartment and stuff like that. And we lived there for a long while. We had some challenges along the way with that too, because like, not to be disrespectful, but Colombians like to party. I'm not a big partier myself. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything like that anymore in my life. And so Colombians like to party. And they'd have their music bumping at like 110 decibels for 3 days straight, and everybody'd be drinking in the streets and trying to invite us along, and kids would be screaming, dogs would be barking, etc. And us, it's like, we gotta find some more peace. So finally, after a couple of years of that, we found our own place, and we found it further south of Medellin. It's really peaceful. I don't know if you can see this out here, but here's some nature and stuff like that. It's a beautiful place, and really, really happy with everything so far. Now, big challenge too that we've had, we've learned how to speak to each other, obviously, over the years and stuff like that. Like, we had to translate for probably about, I'm going to say a good year, until I picked up on Spanish pretty good. And she's learned a lot of English along the way too, which is going to be helpful for when we go back to the States, because we're going to have to head back to the States probably about, I'm going to say January, February this next year. I'd like to stay. I'd like to enjoy all this beautiful nature, but we got to go back and we got to see some family and take care of business and stuff like that. So, big thing to do is prepare yourself for what you're going up against, because like 4 years ago, I knew nothing was going to happen with this. When I met her, I knew, like, after I asked her to marry me and stuff, that we're getting married and stuff. I thought, wow, this process, we'll get married and we'll come back to the States in like 6 months. And I was overzealous and I was jumping the gun, is what I'll tell you. And so, realistically, the process is get married, take your time, go ahead and figure out what life has to offer and stuff like that. I am very, very thankful and thank God for this experience too, because these 4 years, I told my wife, I was like, I would have never started a company of my own. I would have never started this channel and stuff if this wouldn't have shaped me, basically, because like I was really comfortable in my tech support job and working for somebody else, and now I work for myself, and I do like programming, marketing kind of stuff. I do all sorts of different apps. I do AI, like all this other jazz. But anyways, like I would never have started that if I would have had a fuel under my ass to go ahead and actually do this thing. And so sometimes throwing yourself outside your comfort zone is a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. I've become one of these mountains out here, is what I'll tell you. The strength in me, like believing in God, because like my relationship with God before this was different, because when I grew up Lutheran. My family went to church, all that good stuff. My grandparents went to church, and it was good. But then, like, my grandmother passed away when I was about 18, and I lost my way, basically, because I didn't believe that God was looking out for me. I thought God had taken her for no reason and stuff, and she was a big, big part of my life, which I'll tell about in further stories down the road. But anyways, I kind of fell away from God, is what I could say. And so it took me a long while, and I met my ex-wife, and she wasn't really into religion and stuff like that either, so it never really clicked. But then down here, you just gotta believe in God, you gotta believe in yourself, you gotta go ahead and take the bull by the horns. Don't procrastinate too, because it doesn't accomplish anything, it just kills time, kills your life kind of thing, is what I'll tell you. And so I've come back to being spiritual and believing in God. I do not believe that you have to actually go to a church or you have to be a specific part of denominations and stuff like that, to be honest. My best conversations with God is sitting out here in these mountains, right in the middle of the woods, just listening to the river and listening to nature and stuff like that, all God's creations. Because, like, I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but I've always felt like organized religion just kind of like comes in, tries to tell you what to do, like people judge you, whatever, and stuff like that. And it's not everybody, really, to be fair, but like that's just me. I feel better sitting in the middle of the woods, talking to God peacefully, like battling my demons in my head with His help, than I do like going to a church, to be honest. And if you guys are like that out there too, give me a thumbs up and all that good stuff, or let me know in the comments and stuff today. So yeah, that's where it's at. And like I say, when I reconnected with God, I started to believe myself stronger. I've been better than I ever was, because like I'd always have self-doubt or questioning, and I still do, to be honest. Like there's always going to be those points in your life like, oh shit, something's going to fuck up or whatever, and you got to figure out how to do it. That's life. That's what I've learned, is that's life. That's what we all have to do, no matter if we like it or not. And if we don't thrive. If we do, we go ahead and we find the next battle, because that's what's coming up, to be honest. You know? So yeah, I built a company though. I've been working online. I've been working with, I've still got students for photography. So I was a photography teacher back in New York. But down here in Colombia, like teaching photography is different, because if you don't speak fluent Spanish, it's hard to figure out how to tell somebody how to adjust their aperture, shutter speed, ISO, whatever, like by not speaking fluent Spanish. So like I probably am now comfortable, now that we're about to leave, to actually teach Colombians how to do photography and stuff. But to all my students out in New York that supported me back in the day, thank you very much. All my students at NYU, University of Michigan, etc., I thank you. You guys rock. I hope you're all making great photos out there, loving life and stuff. I kind of got away with that too as a side story, because like Colombia switched me to the point where I wasn't a photographer anymore. Like I lost my identity and I had to reform myself as a husband and like a father, and like forming myself into a creator and stuff like that, more than I've ever been, and just believing what I put out in the world. Like you see this video today that I'm recording right now. I'm just handheld. You can see me shaking around, and I just want to be authentic. I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of the noise. I'm not going to tell you, oh hey, everything's perfect, like all these influencers out there and stuff try to do. I'm not going to go there. So thanks for being here listening to my rant. But yeah, this thing with Colombia in these 4 years, like I say, thank God for every experience. This mountain view, I don't know if y'all can see that up there, but this mountain view has been one of my savers every morning. I'm sitting here with my lemon water actually in my coffee cup, because I drink lemon water every morning. Getting back healthy is the thing that this shaped me into too, because you don't take care of yourself, nobody will. That's a big thing I've learned as well. Cheers. I'll have a little 1 cup of coffee after I get done with breakfast, which I've got sitting on a little table in front of me. And after I get done with my 1 cup of coffee, then I'll start the day. I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity, because not everybody has the same opportunities. And I'll say this, the opportunities are what you create. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. It's not bullshit, to be honest with you, because there's so many people that are like, yeah, manifest it and do all this stuff. Yes, you can sit there and meditate, manifest and whatnot, but then you have to take action. You have to find the fire that's just driving you over everything else, pull the trigger, do the thing. That's what I'm going to say. Pray to God for success on all the stuff that you do too, because like not everything's going to hit, and you just got to keep going. Consistency is the best part about that, you know? So I think to wrap up this video for today on here, like I'm not going to edit going forward. I'm just going to go ahead and drop these videos as much as I got stuff to talk about, and I'm going to tell you guys stories going forward. Because I think the stories are better than sitting here like, yeah, this is how you get a visa. Well, no shit. If you guys want to get a visa, go hire a lawyer is my recommendation for you. Because otherwise, it's a trip, to be honest. Getting your Colombian visa, if you're in the States or if you're in a different country and whatnot, is a lot easier than a Colombian getting a United States visa, too. I'll just put out there, by the way. So, yeah. Thank you all for being here today. I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm Charlie. This is Create Over Consume. God bless. I'll talk to you soon.